All right, questions for Coach, the players?
Coach,
Yes.
as a former outstanding Fordham quarterback,
I don't know about outstanding quarterback though, but go ahead.
some of us.
Yeah.
How would you assess both Negrek's performance over the season and Maetzold's performance with no preparation and knowing he was going in a game where the undefeated season ends?
Well, let's start off with Michael. And if you evaluate his body of work, going into this game, and for the little bit that he played, I mean, he's a candidate for. Is it Walter Payton Award?
Walter Payton,
He's a candidate. He's on the Walter Payton Watch Award list for a reason. I mean, that's because he's having the type of year that warrants discussion for being the top player in the country. He's done a tremendous job up until that point. Throwing the ball, running the ball, leading us to points, and minimizing turnovers. So it's just a shame. I feel awful for Michael, but we're going to get a diagnosis, see what the doctors say, and we'll go from there. But in terms of Peter coming in, our philosophy, not just with the quarterback position, but in general, is next man in. And we said that the next man in is going to do as good or better a job as the person he replaces. And not many people are privy to what occurs during our preseason camp, but Peter was absolutely lights out in our preseason camp and did an unbelievable job. So we had the utmost confidence in him, and Coach Browner does an excellent job preparing these guys during the week. And Peter stepped in and threw for 318 yards in a little over 3 quarters. So he's a tremendous player. He's very smart, cerebral. He's more of a threat to beat you with his arms than his legs. But Peter led us to a win. So we obviously very pleased with the way he played.
Coach, how about the way the team overcame all the adversity, the fumbles, back, and then pull this game out with everything on the line, right to the end, hanging there like they did?
Yeah, I think it's a 100% testament to these guys' character, their perseverance, their persistence, and we talked throughout the year we're going to hang our hat on little things, extra effort, no excuses, and it took extra effort. We play every play like it's the last play we'll ever play for 60 minutes, and it came down to the very last play of the game. And no excuses. I mean, there were plenty of opportunities for us going into this game and throughout the course of the game for us to, wave up the white flag and say, it's, not going to happen this year or not going to happen this game, and the undefeated season's going to be gone. But we dug our heels in. Guys stepped up across the ball, and most importantly, our defense and special teams were able to step up big. And I said in the locker room after the game, our offense is kind of the unit that gets the most accolades and the most praise, but on a day that we weren't necessarily firing on all cylinders offensively, the defense and special teams played lights out.
Especially after they were driving for that field goal, just 6.8 seconds up. That whole stretch there, is that where you really found out a lot about your team as far as the defense?
Yeah, we just absolutely dug our heels in and blocked the field goal to win the game. And so, I mean, you can't. We tell kids to play every play like it's the last play for 60 minutes, and they did. They took it to heart, and they weren't going to make an excuse about calls or penalties or this or that or the other thing. They just, as they've done 10 times out of 10, they found a way to win the game.
Peter, what was it like for you coming in, so unexpected, obviously, with the injury? How did you feel out there?
Well, you really never know, when your number's going to be called in like a backup role like that. Mike kind of goes down, gets his knee checked out, and you're just thinking, fall back on your preparation, and what Coach talked to you on the headset, and when he talked to you throughout the whole week, you just gotta calm down and remember what your coaching is. Yeah.
And obviously, you started games before. You were able to fall back on that experience, and was that helpful?
Yeah. I like to think so, but that was like almost 2 years ago. But I guess you take everything with you. So I know what it was like to play against in the Patriot League against a big opponent. So I felt pretty ready.
I think one of the big things, if I may interject, is one of Peter's biggest strengths aside from his physical tools, or he has a very even-keeled demeanor. And you talk about never be too high, never be too low, just stay on the same plane. And I think that's one of the positive things that he was able to do throughout the game. That throughout the good plays, throughout the negative plays, he was able to maintain an even disposition and, move us to a lot of second half points.
Does that come into play, the way you were able to come in after that first series, you kind of calm down and start, really connecting? Did just kind of get the
Yeah.
flow? I mean, you block everything out, is it at that point where you
Yeah,
just,
I mean, just, when you get, a couple plays under your belt, just playing football again, and, we've all done that, and, it's just, you kind of go with the flow. I don't know.
kind of a roller coaster game for you too?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want that, but.
I mean, which you had to overcome too. I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. It was, really on the sideline, I felt fine, after turnovers. I felt like our offense was still had confidence, especially how well we played all year. We still had the confidence to go down in the fourth quarter, and make a drive when we needed.
Just that confidence in the team, I guess it's the way you've been playing, but still, you kind of, the way everybody looked at each other after a turnover or something, that they all went, we're going to get this. You had that feeling that there was something there was going to happen.
Exactly. From the O lineman, saying, put this on our backs. We're gonna pick up those yards on the ground. Receivers, Pete, you can trust me. Give me a good ball and catch it. And just all around players, picking up players. Good offenses have to do that.
What's the feeling going off the field when you really want to tough on it?
Yeah, I'm just after that fumbled, I guess knee down. You're like, did you just lose the game because of that? So some of it was relief, but just joy and 10-0.
Yeah, what happened on the knee of that play? Did they just really catch you off guard?
We were going to take a knee, and they, they're, I guess that's their take a knee defense. That as soon as the ball snapped, they try to get a push back and cause a fumble, and it was a good coach by those guys. We had not seen it on film, and they played that play harder than we did, and they won the play. So I've got to do a better job, obviously. You do the take a knee on Fridays at the walkthrough, and it's generally on air, and you don't see it on film. So I've obviously got to do a better job making sure our guys know now that when we take a knee, we really mean step down and protect the gap, not just step down and protect it on there. Because they played that play hard, and my hat's off to them for getting the ball back. And that's kind of indicative of their style of play. I mean, Bucknell's a very good football team.
And obviously you were upset with that, the call on the spike. I don't know if I've ever seen you quite that animated.
I was a little upset. Whatever. I mean, if we're going to tell our players to make no excuses, and we're not going to make any excuses either. But I certainly had my interpretation of the rule and what occurred and what I saw. But at the end of the day, we found a way to overcome it. And, we really shouldn't have been in that position anyway.
Were you surprised by their effort going into the game? They were 4-4.
By Bucknell? Absolutely not. I mean, Coach Susan does a tremendous job with his guys, and you look, they were riding a 3-game winning streak. They had beaten a Dartmouth team that's played well and beaten some people, and a Lehigh team that it sounded like they were up on Holy Cross and just competing for the Patriot League title, and soundly defeated them, and beat Colgate, who's a reigning league champion. So the one thing you never question when you're playing Bucknell is going to be effort and physicality and toughness, and we talked to our guys about that the entire week. So by no means was I surprised. Actually, that's kind of the game we told the kids that we should expect, and it's really kind of what played out on the field.
CJ, it looked like you were really trying to. I saw you after Sam had that fumble. You really went up to him. You were talking, trying to encourage him. Were you trying to be a little more of an extra leader today with all the tough game?
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely. Things going to happen throughout the course of the game. I mean, just like last week, when I told him, hey, last week I fumbled. I mean, we throw interceptions, but we don't want to. I mean, it's kind of unrealistic to think that every play is going to be perfect. And, Coach talks about that all the time. But, the key thing is how do you respond to that? And, I just went up there and told him, hey, we're going to need you. Which we did. He came back. And, I mean, Pete threw a good ball, double move, and, scored a touchdown after. So you can never get too down on yourself. I mean, especially, playmaker, his ability. So, I just kept trying to, get in his ear and just try to, talk him up a little bit because, he's that type of player. So I don't want him to get too down, and, he came back and had a great game.
I think it'll be a learning experience for him too, because these guys probably remember throughout the week, and one thing I was stressing with Sam was ball security. And when I say, your fundamentals and technique during the week is what you're going to see on the field on Saturday. So, he came off the field, and I said, listen, you just can't let the same play beat you twice. So you got to, acknowledge it, understand what you did poorly, fix the technique, and don't do it again. So it bit him twice, but he took ownership of it, understood what he did, and then came back and made it a huge play in the game. So I'm sure now that we're going to cover the ball with two hands in traffic from now on.
Anything else? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.